Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
That is the essential truth about devotional principles. I will repeat. The desire, the treasure I desire as a practitioner, I will get when I attain my spiritual body. It's just a question of being ripe or unripe. The ripe stage is the stage of pure loving devotion. And the unripe stage is the stage of practice. That is the essential truth about devotional principles. I was just thinking that ripe and unripe, for example, because our Kevala Bhakti just has a baby. So when the baby is building in the body, it's still a baby. She is not ripe yet, but she is a baby, or he. And when they come out, they are also a baby. But they are always a baby, but one stage is unripe and one stage is ripe. That's very nice. And we have, of course, also this example of the mango. Any kind of fruit, they are unripe. That is not to be offered to Radha Mohan because they are hard, they are not sweet. But ripened, they can be offered. So this is the essence of the truth. Jai Gurudev. Srila Thakur Mahashaya explained how sadhana and siddhi are qualitatively identical. And in this Tripadi, he uses an analogy to ascertain this more firmly. That is actually spoken in the terms of Sanskrit. Sadhana and siddhi are qualitatively the same. Means, like we said, the practice and the perfection are belonging together. Like the unripe fruit is also the fruit that will be ripe. And Baba is going on and explaining this. The treasure. I missed one sentence. Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, and Prema Bhakti are sequential, qualitatively identical stages of each other. So we could say also that Sadhana Bhakti is the unripe fruit. Bhava Bhakti is the almost ripe fruit, and Bhava Bhakti is the super ripe fruit, smelling and soft and ready to be offered. Or let's say we are also offering ourselves in these different kinds of bhaktis. And yesterday, Gurudev, you mentioned that, and you were a little bit strict, and that was also very, very much your mercy that you remind us just to be greedy for any kind of explanation or any kind of speaking interpretation is not the subject of sadhana bhakti. Or you said, we cannot explain these very, very deep topics to devotees who are not even in sadhana stage, means they are still marginal. Very interesting point. I meditated about this, and we know that Krishna in the last purport to Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada explained what is that stage of marginal energy. And he explained that until we have not fixed ourselves as servants of Srimati Radhika, or he says our normal condition being centered and pointed to the service of Ladini Shakti, pleasure-giving potency, we are not normal. We are not in our normal condition. So when we are still so much outside, we need preparation to come from marginal position to fixed or one-pointed belonging and feelings of Dasi to our Srimati Radhika. That is required before Shri Guru will be explaining more higher topics that cannot be grasped. So Gurudev, you did remind us very, very nicely that we should read and study and absorb in these Vanis of like Narottam Das Thakur, Raghunath Das Goswami, Rupa Goswami, with the feeling that this is actually the Siddhavani. It is already perfected in itself, so that Siddhavani will purify my heart. It will make me ready and it will make me ripe. In that Vani, in these instructions themselves, lies a great power of becoming more ripened. So it's not something that is very cheap. And Sri Guru can see where the disciples are, and he will help us to grow and to become ripe, right? Like this. I like it very much. You were explaining this, Gurudev, that the Vanis in themselves, they are already powerful and purifying us. There's no need to interpret or to be trying to understand it from the level of intelligence or analyze it. They're very clear and they give us everything we need. If we are also preparing our homework, means reading them, meditating them, and also coming to Sri Guru with the questions according to what we need help with. So again, I will repeat. Srila Thakur Mahashaya explained how sadhana and siddhi, the practice stage and the perfection stage, are qualitatively identical. And in this verse, he uses an analogy to ascertain this more firmly, to support this, to make it clear that sadhana bhakti, bhava bhakti, and prema bhakti are sequential. They come one after another, or they flow into each other, and they are qualitatively identical stages of each other. The treasure of direct loving service that the Raganuga Sadhaka desires as he performs his sadhana of meditating on Sri Radha Mohan's service, they will attain, when they attain or achieve Prema Siddhi in his Siddha Swarup. Also, another point I would like to add. One time, Gurudev, you were explaining that when the sadhana is not aimed at bhava, or the sadhana is not practiced with a deep feeling of this is my treasure, this is my goal, then it will be called Vaidhi Bhakti. Means it is like a religious practice that I do because I know, and my guru has told me it is very helpful. So we see actually when we were hearing and listening this, that sadhana bhakti in itself is already a quite a deep and high level to reach. I come out of my religious praying mentality for the good things that God may give to me, or that I may lose my fear of the life of this and that. But I go into the service of Radharani, into the service of Shri Guru and of the Vaishnavas. So that is the difference between the mentality of sadhana bhakti and Vaidhi bhakti. And that if it is not clear, if this one-pointedness, this focus is not clear or always again and again made clear. That's why we come to Vrindavan, so that it becomes clear to me again. Why am I doing what am I doing? Why? Why am I chanting? It's not only to have, a good result. That will come for sure also. But I want to meditate about the pastimes and the service of Sri Radha Mohan. And that is the treasure of direct loving service that the Raga Anuga Sadhaka desires. And that will be attained when the perfection time is there, when the ripeness is there, when we have listened enough of this and gotten enough mercy for this. Because also it is coming by causeless mercy. When Laulya Mai Bhakti, greedy devotion, is not yet fulfilled, but moves towards Siddhi, it is called sadhana bhakti. So again, a very nice confirmation. The real sadhana is called Laulya Mai Bhakti, greedy devotion. There must be some desire, some greed, some intensity in my heart. I'm not doing it because of, a rule that my guru gave to me, or a regulation that needs to be followed. Otherwise, I will be very punished also. I'm doing it because I desire to serve the divine couple, Srimati Radhika, in that transcendental holy dham of Vrindavan, in that vibration. And that is called greedy devotion. And only when we have this greedy devotion, then it will move towards perfection. Otherwise, it will not move at all. Narayan Maharaj, he was shocking all of us when he said, you can chant Hare Krishna for many lifetimes and nothing will move. We were shocked, very shocked. What? And I understand this was the point. We are chanting just to be a good person, just to increase my goodness or my piety, meine Frömmigkeit. But actually, the goal must be clear. The goal is the service of Radha Mohan. And then some Laulya Mai can develop by my desire only. And we have many prayers of Narottam Das Thakur. They are called also Lalamai or Lalasamai. That is like the hankering for perfection. And that is when Narottam Das Thakur is saying Radha Krishna Pranamara Yugala Kishore. So when we are hearing this, we want to also get a drop of this greed, of these desires that, will there be a day in my meditation, in my life, where I can also meditate on Radha and Mohan with this kind of feeling? It should be coming more ripe, means more feelingful. So when Laulya Mai Bhakti, greedy devotion, is not yet fulfilled, means it's not, it's just it's a greed, but it's not ripe yet, but it's a stage of beginning to feel that. But it moves towards Siddhi. It is moving towards that desire of Prema Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti. Then it is called Sadhana Bhakti. Otherwise, it will be in the realm of Vaidhi Bhakti, which is very good, is not bad, but this will not necessarily give us the service of Srimati Radhika. So Sadhana Bhakti is already a very, according to this explanation, Sadhana Bhakti is already qualified by being filled with emotions. Somehow or other, I want to feel something when I do what I do. When I dress Thakurjis, when I cook for Thakurjis, when I listen the classes of my Gurudev, when I do kirtan, let something happen in my heart, praying for this. Something may come. That is called Laula Mai Bhakti, And then it is sadhana bhakti, or a practice. And when this becomes intense, it is called prema bhakti. It's like cooking down a milk. In the beginning, it's very liquid, and you don't know how will this kheer come out of it? How will this rabri come out of it? How will that halava come out of it? It looks very liquid, and it looks like it's not possible. But if we have a lot of patience, and we are cooking and we are stirring it with a lot of love and devotion, then the water will come out of the milk, and then the milk will become very thick, and it will become condensed. We know this word. Gurudev always speaks about condensed feeling, condensed devotion, condensed intention. This is that our desire, that I become condensed, that the milk will lose the water, that this body may be used in such a way that it can be intensified feeling and emotions that will be in my services. Hence it is said, Siddhasya lakshanam yakshyat sadhanam sadhakasya tat. What is the characteristic of siddhi is the practice of sadhaka. We are practicing for this. Perfection is to learn how to write and to read, for example, in school. And the students who go in the first class, they just go, hey, but they are going to write. In the stage of perfection, the devotees will be able to attain all that is explained by Raghunath Das Goswami in his Vilapa Kushmandali, by all our Acharya songs, by all what we have heard from Gurudev. Sadhana Bhakti always keeps the desire for the attainment of Prema Bhakti, or direct service, awake. This is also very, very interesting statement to really check myself. Am I doing with what feelings? Again, this thing comes. And that's why when yesterday Gurudev said marginal, then I was shocked. It was not even called sadhana bhakti by Gurudev. He said marginal, because sadhana bhakti is beyond marginal. Sadhana bhakti is already in the direct purpose of what I want to reach. I want to be a Dasi of Srimati Radhika, and I want to serve her. I want to learn how to do it, and I'm praying for this, and this is how I try to do my practice. This is the nature of sadhana bhakti. Very, very deep. How to really get this appreciation for sadhana bhakti. I learned a lot since you mentioned that yesterday. Really good. It went deep into my chitta that, wow, I have to check myself. I want to improve myself, that my bhakti becomes sadhana bhakti. Goal is bhava bhakti and prema bhakti. Sadhana bhakti always keeps the desire for the attainment of prema bhakti, or direct service, awake. Means awakening, awake. Not sleeping, awake, remembering this. This is my goal. Why am I doing it? I want to become a Dasi. I want to be a Dasi in all possible ways. What I try to do as a service. I want to be a small servant of my Gurudev, of Srimati Radhika, and he is training me for this. We are all helping each other in this. Therefore, the blessed author Narottam Das Thakur says, Sadhane ye dham chay. Insatiability is the nature of bhakti. And the more advanced the sadhaka becomes in his devotional practice, the more eagerness and anxiousness he will feel rising in his heart. Anxiousness means eine Besorgnis so, oder eine große, big desire. I'm anxious to get this. I really want to get this. I really want to develop my bhakti. I want to, the fruit of my heart should be ripening. That's why I go to Vrindavan. I want to be riper. I want to be more ready. I want to go deeper. And that should be my meditation and also my desire. And then it will become what Baba is explaining here. The nature of bhakti will become that it doesn't feel dry, or it will not feel old. It will be always fresh, and it can never be unfulfilled. Fulfilled. Insatiability means eine unerschöpfliche Durst, means a thirst that is never quenched, really. And that is the nature of bhakti. And we can see how someone is advanced by how greedy they are to attain this. And they, the funny thing with bhakti is also an amazing thing, that the more one is practicing it, more devotee feels they are not practicing it, and it's never, fulfilled enough. That is this unquenching thirst. Also, when you check the explanation of Raganuga means the bhakti that is filled with a thirst for the goal that can never be dried. It will be always going on. There must be, some more kirtan. There should be one more class, and I want to listen, whatever this next class. I am missing it already. I don't want to miss a class. I don't want to stop painting or whatever service we do. Oh, I cooked already, but maybe we should have one more laddu for tonight. It's like the heart is spilling over with what we do. It's an overflow, actually, the overflowing heart that wants to always make happy to Srimati Radhika, and to the devotees, of course, to Gurudev, and to all the people around us also, because that bhakti that will be felt by devotees or by non-devotees alike, they will feel, what is this person? What kind of energy has this person? They have so much love. Insatiability is the nature of bhakti. And the more advanced the sadhaka becomes in his devotional practice, the more eagerness and anxiousness he will feel rising in his heart. It's a natural rising. Just like when we have a baby or a child, then mother and father always think, did I do everything right today? Or maybe the baby needs some more milk, or the baby needs a new diaper. The service is never finished, right? And in the night, the parents can get up and do everything. So in the same way, also Bhakta, who is very, very eager to have a relationship with their Ishtadev, they will do everything so that this will make them happy. And I remember now one story of one Rajabasi, I think. They had Gopal. I think, Gurudev, you told the story before. And then in the night, it was getting cold, and then Gopal also called his devotee and said, I'm getting cold. And so the devotee woke up and then closed the window and put some nice blanket and Gopal. So like this, it will be possible that in this bhakti that is full of devotion, the bhakta will listen their Gopal, their Gopali, their Swamini, and they will feel what they need, because there is this deep desire to feel them and to please them. And even, if it's unripe, it still will be, like Baba says, Laulya Mai Bhakti. It's headed towards perfection. It's going to be ripe. We should also meditate about this great hope that is lying in these explanations of our Narottam Das Thakur's prayer. So it's full of hope. It's not to make us hopeless. It's full of hope. Stay in that positive, loving, and excited feeling, and you will reach the goal. You will be in the service, direct service of Srimati Radhika. This eagerness and anxiousness, these are two qualities that also Rupa Goswami is mentioning in his Nectar of Devotion, will help the sadhaka to attain the kingdom of Prema Siddhi or direct service. So that's the utsahan, no? That means the eagerness, and the anxiousness, I don't know. I don't remember what was that in Rupa Goswami's Nectar of Instruction. But that's actually similar. It's a desire that is never over. It's not, okay, now I done my service, and no. Every time I'm ready to get up and see and feel what is needed for the next service. And that will be, if these feelings come, then there will be a hope to attain the kingdom of Prema Siddhi. But it doesn't mean that this eagerness and anxiousness, it will be there when I'm perfected. No, it will be there when I start. That is the beginning point of sadhana bhakti. Also very important. Therefore, if someone does not have this eagerness and anxiousness, they are still marginal. But that doesn't mean that I can come again out of my marginal position. No, because in every second it can happen.
And in the West more than here.
Yeah, in the West more than here, says Adeshwari. That happens all the time, that I become lazy or crazy or, forgetful. But then again, oh my God, what was it? Yes, I want to practice bhakti with a loving heart and with some feelings. And actually, I need people who are also like in this feeling. No, I need to have some mad people around me. They're also mad. I want to be mad for the service and for that feeling that really I want to have feeling with what I do. So this eagerness and anxiousness will help the sadhaka to attain the kingdom of Prema Siddhi or direct service. There is also a great relish in sadhana bhakti, especially in the lila smaran of the raga sadhakas. So here Baba is making it clear that the sadhana bhakti, even though there's no perfection yet, it has big taste, especially in listening the lila of Radha Mohan and remembering the lila of Radha Mohan. And that is what the raga sadhakas do. Like we are sharing. I mean, we are so grateful that Gurudev is giving these sharings. In the morning, we are sitting together and we are like becoming very much deep by the help of each other, turning the words of our Raghunath Das Goswami and of our Anandadas Babaji Maharaj, and remembering the words of our Gurudev and then applying them in my chitta, in my heart. That is in itself already so much taste. And hearing this and going together in some feelings, that is so encouraging, and so much comes from this. Everyone can feel it. There is also a great relish in sadhana bhakti, especially in the lila smaran of the raga sadhakas. Their meditation is just like rendering direct service. So this is also meaning lila smaran. We could say what we are reading each morning, the words of our Ananda Das Babaji Maharaj, these are his lila smaran. It's not that we are there and we are having lila smaran. No, we are hearing the words of the Mahajanas, the great dasis of Srimati Radhika, the great Raga Bhaktas, the Rupa Nuga Bhaktas, and their Leela Smaran, no? How he is explaining all the verses and giving the detail of the Leela. That is his Leela Smaran. So by listening this, there's already a great relish. And that's what Baba says here. Their meditation is just like rendering direct service. Indirectly, he's speaking about his own Leela Smaran, and that remembering these Siddhavanis, like you said yesterday, Gurudev, these instructions or these meditations, it is for us the highest benefit, very high benefit. And the savor, therefore, the wonderful relish of their savor during their sadhana is incomparable. So that is also another hope and encouragement that when I try to be in this deep understanding and deep practice of sadhana bhakti, it's not any less than the preparation for perfection. And what I listen here from these great souls, that's why we read Vilapa Kushmanjali again and again and again. That in itself is already a wonderful relish. And that's why, Gurudev, you also say, I don't want to pass one day without listening this. I cannot miss it. I don't want to miss it. When I don't have kata, when I don't have this smaranam, then I feel unhappy, I feel anxious, I feel eager for it. What to speak of us? If our Gurudev is so eager, will not this also put some eagerness in my heart? Right? That is the natural effect. Then if the sadhaka is satisfied with that and does not awaken a feeling of lacking of prema or direct devotional service, finally a situation of self-satisfaction may arise in which the sadhaka's advancement in bhakti sadhana will be blocked. Yes. Then if the sadhaka, at that point, when the sadhaka has already some taste by hearing and chanting, but if the sadhaka is satisfied with that and does not awaken a feeling of lacking of prema or direct devotional service, means a situation of self-satisfaction may arise in which the sadhaka's advancement in bhakti sadhana will be blocked. Means, in simple words, if we stop there, it will be a blockage. If I'm just happy with what is going on right now, I feel so blessed, it's so nectar, but I don't develop more greed for that prema bhakti, for that bhava bhakti, that will be a blockage also. But we have the merciful guidance of the Vaishnavas of Shri Guru who are helping us, who are good examples and showing us, don't be just a bliss hunter. Don't stick there where you are so happy and have an idea of it. He says, we are now just in the preparatory school. We are just being prepped up. We are prepared. But then when we meet in the Siddha Deha, this is when service starts. What's the sentence also? I'm just prepping you now so you can be in your Siddha Deha. And from there, another level, then prema will start. So to be always eager for that. Also, if we are very happy and satisfied with the nectar that we are receiving already. The wealth craved for in the stage of sadhana, meaning the direct loving service of Sri Radha Mohan in Braj, yearned for by the sadhaka, will be attained within the Siddha Deha after prema is attained. This is for sure. Siddha Dehe Taha Hoi. After giving initiation into calm Bija and calm Gayatri, Shri Gurudev bestows Siddha Pranali so that the disciple gets knowledge of his distinct relationship with the deity, and about the Sri Yugala Upasana, the means or the way to worship the divine pair. So we are knowing that there's the Harinam initiation, we get the holy name, we become connected to the Guru Parampara, and we start practicing Harinam. And then there is that stage where Gurudev giving Kam Bija, the Kama Gayatri, and also giving Siddha Pranali, or that beautiful connection with Srimati Radhika. Yes?
Is Kam Gayatri same as Diksha?
Yes. In the Kam Gayatri, in the Diksha, we get the Kam Gayatri. But this will also be noch more explained.
Oh.
But you are right, yes. So, Kam Gayatri, Diksha, and then also Gurudev bestows Siddha Pranali, so that the disciple gets knowledge of their distinct relationship with the deity and about Sri Yugala Upasana, means the way how to worship the pair. In it, the disciple will become acquainted with the name, complexion, age, nature, and the other of the aspects of his or her Siddha Swarup. The learned knowers of the truth call this initiation ceremony, through which all sins are destroyed and divine knowledge is bestowed, Diksha. And there's an explanation by Sri Jiva Goswami about the meaning of Diksha. Here the word Divya Gyan refers to knowledge of the empowered mantra, being the very form of the Lord, and that through it the aspirant will achieve knowledge of his specific relationship with the Lord, who is the presiding deity over the mantra. So Gurudev is giving Diksha mantra, he's giving Siddha Pranali, but also one point is important here. Srila Narayan Maharaj is explaining also to the gurus of ISKCON at that time. He said Diksha is a school. It's a gradual process until I realize my Swarup, and until I have Divya Gyan, or transcendental knowledge of who I am and who is my Ishta Devi, and how to worship them in that feeling that I have been getting by my Gurudev. So the Diksha, the initiation, is a process. Also, it cannot be separated. All these different kinds of initiations that are happening, it's one goal to reach to the service of Radha Mohan, and how to understand and feel that the mantra is the personification of Radha Mohan or Srimati Radhika, and how that mantra can enter into my heart and I can become transformed from the material ego into spiritual self-consciousness or spiritual self-esteem. That will be also explained later on, but I think maybe today we have to stop here, and maybe there are some questions. Gurudev is here, we can discuss, we can try to absorb into that, because these are very, very important subjects, and they are not just read down like any kind of information, but they are very, very deeply connected to our process. Why am I doing what I am doing, and what is the meaning of Diksha? How to reach to that stage where the Divya Gyan will, become manifested. And we know also, again, it was Narottam Das Thakur. He was giving us the hints. Divya Gyan Ride Prakashito. Shri Guru Charane Rati E Se Utam Gati. So when my relationship to Shri Guru, when this becomes very, very intense, and it's characterized by intense rati, or a feeling of intense feeling of, I want to be close, I want to come to that understanding who my Gurudev is in his spiritual identity, what kind of service he does, how can I do, my service in that kind of consciousness, how can I grow into that? That is the Sri Guru Charane Rati. And then what happens? Divya Gyan, Ride Prakashitu, that transcendental knowledge will be opening up in my heart. And that Divya Gyan is in the Karma Bija, in the mantras, in all our, prayers that we have gotten from Shri Guru. Or even like Gurudev said yesterday, the Siddhavanis, they also are like, we could say, a karma bija in themselves, especially Vilapa Kushmandali, opening up all the feelings of Tulsi Manjari so that they can also, make a platform in my heart so that the perfection may be, slowly but surely it will come. And then also it can manifest in my heart what I have heard so many times. So it goes hand in hand. The divine knowledge that is coming into the heart by Diksha, by Divya Gyan, by transcendental, let's say also infusion from Guru to disciple, but also the mantra, they are non-different from Srimati Radhika, from Mohan. So they are also together in this combination. They will give the sadhaka, the aspirant, the knowledge and the realization. It's not knowledge, Gurudev would say, it's realization. Means something that is staying with me, something that is blooming in the heart, and then it will stay with me, and then I can meditate more deeply or more intensely. Jai Shri Radhe. It was a little bit condensed today, but I think it is important to always hear this again and again for myself. Also, what is the practice and what is the goal? How to slowly but surely progress. What are the needed feelings? What are the needed desires? And with the blessing of Gurudev and all the Vaishnavas. I beg if I did any mistakes here. I am also very unperfected, but by the mercy of Gurudev, he helps us to progress by also reading and hearing and reciting the wonderful Siddhavanis. Okay, if there's no more comment or anything you would like to say, then we are progressing to the next Kirtan class. And our Sundaram will be playing very beautiful, beautiful videos of the devotees around the world doing Kirtan. Jai Narottam Das Thakur Pratana Ki Jai, Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Gurudev.
Radhe Radhe Govinda